All right, welcome everyone. My name is Gus Vargas. I welcome you to the webinar, um Achieving Optimal Health and Fitness. I'm going to share, we have a webinar series. This is the 14th webinar that we're presenting. I'm going to share my screen. Off of the Las Vegas area trail sites. Like I said, my name is Gus Vargas, but I'm actually filling in for David Smith, and this is his website. He is the moderator for this webinar series. And if you want access to any of our previous 13 awesome webinar series, the website you want to go to is lasvegastrails.com underscore / health dash education. All right, you have a sample of it. You get the video, you get the text, you get a synopsis, many options, very high quality, high value information available at your fingertips. So I wanted to make a plug for the overall series. But today specifically, we're going to be doing a webinar with Loya Riggan called Permanently Transform Your Weight by Identifying and Eliminating Subconscious Obstacles and Blocks. There's a lot of people that, including myself, that can find value in this. And millions of people are struggling with weight management. Despite spending countless money on all types of weight loss methods and merchandise. If this is you, then you likely have a subconscious obstacle or a block to losing weight. You may even be unconsciously self-sabotaging. Discover how these obstacles and blocks will be transformed with hypnotherapy so that you love and value your body that you live in. Something very important to all of us. Now, anyone attending this webinar will get value out of it. Specifically, you're going to find out, are you self-sabotaging your own weight loss? You know, or you get to identify subconscious blocks and obstacles. Discover what subconscious purpose is keeping you the weight on, and what purpose can you actually be at your weight level be serving. Learn how to carry all those extra unwanted pounds and how they affect you in the areas of the 5 pillars, right? Of the 5 pillars of health and wellness, which we mean physical, emotional, spiritual, social, and mental. And we get to see how the power of hypnotherapy removes the subconscious blocks quickly and efficiently, reframing those subconscious desires for all-around health and wellness. Now, a little bit about Loya. She'll be the presenter for this webinar. Loya Riggan is a hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner, also owner of Dynamic Mindset Hypnosis in Las Vegas. She's a certified consulting hypnotist and NLP practitioner with the National Guild of Hypnotists. She serves clients all over the globe, Poland, France, Australia, as well as across the US. After over 20 years in the corporate America, Loya launched Dynamic Mindset Hypnosis towards fulfillment of her lifelong dream of offering this powerful healing service to people who have experienced trauma and abuse. Loya's mission is to help others live their best life possible by working together to overcome the impact of trauma and abuse, such as weight blocks, anxiety, panic, and self-limiting and negative thought patterns. Fear of life and somatic physical pain in order to be free and live in abundance of health and happiness, while loving their life and, most importantly, themselves. So Loya helps people unleash their greatest life potential. And this is actually her second webinar. Her first webinar is on the website. It is called Overcoming the Impact of Untreated Childhood Trauma Through Hypnotherapy. So she is a regular contributor to this webinar series. So with that, I introduce Loya and I pass the mic on to her. Loya?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Gus. That was a really super nice introduction.
You're welcome.
And I appreciate that very much. Welcome everybody to permanently transform your weight by identifying and eliminating subconscious obstacles and blocks. Let me just actually pull that up right now and share the screen. Can you see that, everybody?
Yes.
Awesome. So let me just go ahead and move you guys up here. Perfect. So permanently transform your weight by identifying and eliminating subconscious obstacles and blocks with myself, Loya Riggan. And I don't think I really need to explain too much about myself after that wonderful introduction from Gus. So again, thank you, Gus. One thing that I would like to let you know is that we're going to have a quiz partway through this. And so if you would like to take the quiz, which is actually going to, I think, be pretty informative for yourself, and it's based on yourself, then grab a pen and paper if you choose to do that. If not, you can find that quiz on my website. So let's go ahead and go to this first section here. And it's a little bit about what Gus spoke about already. About millions of people struggle with weight management despite spending tons of money on all kinds of diets and weight programs, gym memberships. And I'll tell you that I've actually been there myself for decades. I have spent so much money trying to lose weight. It's crazy, with only being able to lose about 10 pounds max and then gaining even more every single time. And so I just wanted to say, you know, as Gus already mentioned, if this sounds like you, then it's likely that you have subconscious blocks and obstacles to losing the weight. And I'll explain to you what those are, because a lot of people are like, what? How can I have subconscious obstacles and blocks? That sounds weird. But in addition to that, you may even be unconsciously self-sabotaging your own weight loss, and I have done that too. So we'll cover all of that, and you're going to find out just a ton of information here. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the subconscious part of your mind. So the subconscious mind is like a computer, and it runs on programming. Whereas our conscious mind, obviously, you know, we think and we're more thoughtful, we decipher stuff with that. But the honest truth is that we probably use the subconscious mind about 10%, the conscious mind about 10%, and the subconscious part of our mind runs about 90% of what we do. It could be anything like driving your car and not thinking about it, you know, thinking about other things like maybe your work day, your errands, and then you get there and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't even remember half the trip. And that's because your subconscious mind is running on the programming. Another thing that the subconscious part of the mind does is it does not stop to evaluate whether something is good or bad, as it just functions automatically. The subconscious is filled with information and patterns gleaned from family, school, environment, friends, and self-input from an early stage of life to the current date, with the strongest years of input being gathered and absorbed from the age before 3 until the age of about 7. That's when we took in the most information from our parents about ourselves, our environment, all of those things. We were just taking that in, and it helped form who we think we are in this world. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how some examples of your subconscious mind perform on that programming. They perform common tasks that you don't even think about. You don't have to consciously think about each step. And some of those examples of the subconscious mind performing the familiar tasks or patterns without you even having to give it a second thought are getting dressed each day. You don't sit there and consciously have to think, okay, I have to put my right leg in, I have to put my left leg into my pants. You just do it. Brushing your teeth, combing your hair, driving your car to and from work. Pretty much anything that does not require your mind to sharply focus on each step of whatever you're doing is performed by your subconscious mind. And again, that comes to about 90% of what we do. So as we have learned more about the subconscious part of the mind, let's talk about some of the subconscious blocks and obstacles and identifying those. So some forms of the subconscious blocks and obstacles that we have are from food habits, negative self-beliefs about ourselves. And just to go into that a little bit more, like the food habits are habits that maybe we grew up with. Maybe it's the way that back in my day, it was meat, potatoes, and a veggie every single night for dinner. Or maybe your parents were okay with you having dessert every night and maybe even a second one. So those food habits are habits that we get for life oftentimes. And it takes a lot of work to consciously acknowledge those and be able to change those. Some things would be negative self-beliefs, like I just can't stop myself from eating. I love food. Emotional stress is another subconscious block and obstacle. Because when you have emotional stress, a lot of us, myself included, for many, many years in the past, will eat emotionally. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's something else, and we'll talk about those emotions a little bit later. Childhood patterns, again, did your mom serve dinner at 6 every night, or did could you just have dinner whenever you came in from playing? Trauma is a big impact for subconscious blocks and obstacles, because having experienced trauma, many people put on weight as part of their trauma. They subconsciously, your mind thinks it's a great thing to protect you, and it does it in the form of a layer of extra pounds and weight and a layer of fat. So there's many things that impact us and can create subconscious blocks and obstacles. So we're going to talk a little bit about, are you self-sabotaging your own weight loss? And with self-sabotage, it usually comes in the form of mental excuses that we give ourselves in order to justify eating unhealthy food and not exercising. These could be self-talks such as are similar to the ones that I have listed here. And some examples are, and I've used these excuses in the last, couple decades. It will take too much work, and I'm too busy right now. I work too much. Or it will cost too much to get all the organic foods and things I need. I don't have the time to do this. Or I have too much weight to lose and it will take too long. I don't want to give up the food I love. Eating makes me feel better. I think that almost everyone can relate to that. I'll feel deprived. A lot of people feel deprived, and I have actually thought that same thought before. Another one people use excuses about is, I don't like salads and veggies. I've actually heard people say that. Or I hate exercise. Or I don't want to eat different food than my spouse, because that's, it's a little, it takes more effort. You're eating something different. So the list just goes on and on and on of excuses that we give ourselves as we self-sabotage our own weight loss. And I am, just thinking about how even any of you, our listeners, how many of these that they can relate with. Sometimes our subconscious, and this goes back to that trauma bit, so sometimes our subconscious has a purpose in keeping the weight on, and the weight that it could be serving, like the purpose that this weight could be serving might be protection. Maybe for people who had physical, mental, and spiritual abuse from their parents, that extra weight could be physical protection for them. Some people are very comfortable with being overweight and out of shape because that's more comfortable to them, and they've maybe been in that state so long that the work it takes to be thin and fit is just something more than they're willing to do. They don't want to put that effort forward to get more fit because they're just so comfortable in that state. Another purpose it may be serving is identity. I have had clients in the past who have an inability to identify with being a thin, fit person. They've never been thin or fit, so for them, they really just cannot see that. They can't see themselves getting there. Another purpose may be fear of the unknown. Their subconscious mind and our subconscious mind, our subconscious for all of us loves the familiar. It doesn't like anything that's different. It doesn't like change. It likes the same routines and patterns. And of course, it varies from person to person, but the fact of the matter is that our subconscious mind loves the familiar and it fears change. So just moving on to the next piece in this is how the 5 pillars of optimal health are affected by carrying the extra unwanted pounds on your physical being. I've noticed that with myself or with many of my clients or friends, that physically how those unwanted, extra pounds affect you is physically you have frequent ongoing physical illnesses, ailments related to the weight. In addition, you probably feel very sluggish, lead a very sedentary lifestyle. So it really affects you physically, mentally, mental sluggishness, sometimes described as foggy brain. You have reduced motivation to pretty much do anything, especially if it involves moving, getting around, walking, exercising. It's just very uncomfortable. Socially, or rather emotionally. Emotionally, it's feelings of not being good enough, lack of confidence, a low self-esteem. They just don't feel good about themselves. There isn't much they like about themselves. And so that's very impactful. On a social level, the weight may contribute to social anxiety, shyness, and isolating themselves due to the fear of just not looking attractive, like they don't feel like they look attractive when they go out socially, and especially to maybe potential romantic partners. So instead, they'll just isolate and stay home. They become shy and they get a lot of anxiety when it comes to socializing. Spiritually, extra weight impacts people with feelings of sometimes not being good enough, or feeling worthy enough of having a deep spiritual relationship with the Creator, because oftentimes they don't feel like they're important enough for God to even notice them, or Creator, or however people want to reference what I call the Creator and God. And on the other end of the spectrum, some people have feelings of anger that God gave them this life. Why are they carrying around all this extra weight and so uncomfortable and dealing with all this when they have friends or other people they know who seem to have it all together and don't have any weight issues or weight struggles the way that they do? So that can be a wide variety of impact on the way they feel spiritually. So talking about the awesome power of hypnotherapy and how it removes subconscious blocks, obstacles, and self-sabotage quickly and efficiently. And these are just a few of the powerful suggestions that I've personally used with clients and even with myself, because I do self-hypnosis and have actually lost 25 pounds using self-hypnosis and a variety of other things that I've recently brought into my life. One thing that I use quite commonly is a desire to eat healthy carbs, lean proteins, and natural fats and sugars. So I use that often with my clients. I will give them that suggestion frequently throughout their sessions. I've had clients who don't want to like sugar anymore, or chocolate or dessert. So they want me to use aversion therapy so they no longer choose to have sugar, chocolate, or dessert. It's a real turnoff for them. I have did the virtual gastric bypass procedure more times than I did any other weight loss program. And not only is this great, because the honest truth is that our subconscious mind is so childlike, oftentimes it doesn't know what's real and not real. Only our conscious mind knows the difference between real and not real. And when I put a client into hypnosis and I put their conscious mind to sleep and rest, and I'm dealing with the subconscious mind only, the subconscious mind doesn't know if they've had it or not. And while I do hypnosis mostly online or over the phone, there are many practitioners and hypnotherapists I know who will literally, during this virtual gastric bypass, use alcohol wipes and different things and touch and implement suggestions that literally make the client feel as if they had an actual surgery in the hospital. So I just think that power is so amazing. But yeah, I do the virtual gastric bypass with success for people in the past. I put in suggestions to use only saucers and salad plates, and that they only want to eat off of a small plate. They refuse the big plates, and I'm telling you, this works. It's amazing. Also, that smaller portions at mealtime are deeply satisfying, which is awesome. One thing that's really impactful for people is when they don't really love themselves in their bodies. And I'll give you a perfect example. When, say, for example, somebody gets out of the shower and they catch a glimpse of their body in the mirror, and the first thought they have is, I hate my body. Well, your subconscious is listening. So it's not going to do anything great for your body because you hate it, because maybe you have some rolls. So guess what? What your subconscious hears is, oh, you hate me. Basically, you hate this body because there's rolls. So let me give you some more rolls. And it really works that way. So one of the things that I always do with my clients, always, is I start building a deep love for themselves and their body. And that's really crucial, because when you love your body and you love yourself the way that you love somebody else, you're going to start treating it good the way that you treat others that you love. So that's a very important self-awareness there. So I use that suggestion a lot. The ability to eat far less and be full and far more satisfied. I do elimination of snacking. I just get that right out of their daily meals. I do a lot of putting in a desire and an urge to move their bodies more and exercise daily, less sedentary. I also put that sense of deep self-worth in them, confidence and self-esteem. I do confidence and self-esteem and self-worth building about 90 to 95% of the time with all my clients. It's so good for them, and it makes them so happy with themselves inside. And there's just many more suggestions that I use. I couldn't fit them all on here. You can see I squeeze as many as possible with you, still being able to read it. But hypnosis can be used for the most wonderful and outlandish things you could ever imagine. So in this next part, where it gets a little fun. So I pulled this quiz off of my website, and I have it on my website. You can find it under loyariggan.com/resources. I have several resources there. But if you pull out your pen and paper, I'd like you just to take this quiz really quickly. Write down the emotions. So to identify the emotions that trigger you to eat. And it has a whole list like self-reward, feeling happy, feeling bored. And I'd like you just to write down the things, maybe when you take it this first time, that you do often. So rather than the no, sometimes, or often, just go ahead and write down the ones that you do often, that this emotion causes you to eat food often. And I'm going to give you a few minutes to do this. And I think that the answers that you come up with are so surprising. I've had many clients and many people who are in my Facebook group take this quiz, and they're really shocked about the times they eat. There have been some people who think they eat for emotions, and then they found out they only eat at happy events and celebrations. So I'll give you a few more minutes to do this. And again, if you want to take this quiz in its entirety, or have maybe one of your friends or family take it, just pop over to my website. I'll give you that information at the end. Is everybody pretty much done? Yeah? Okay. Did the answers you get surprise you a little bit, or did you already know that you eat on those emotions? Awesome. Again, you can pop over and take this later, or do it with your friends, especially even for those middle, like sometimes you eat for those emotions. So it's a real eye opener.
Loya, you're going to provide us with the website at the end of the webinar?
Yes, Gus, I'll definitely give you that website. I got all that information, so I'll provide it at the end. And there's a lot of resources about all kinds of stuff on my website, and a free MP3 on self-relaxation, relaxation and self-esteem that you can get. It's a really nice one. It's only 15 minutes. I actually like to listen to it myself, and it's neat. It's a good one.
Awesome. That's valuable.
All right, so if you struggle with weight loss, want to discover how to release the unwanted pounds and feel good within your own skin, then these are my suggestions on quick, healthy weight management and change. So the first thing that I would suggest is define a professional who's a hypnotherapist. Make sure to check their credentials, see where they went to school at, and see if you click with them. Some people want to do it with a client or with a hypnotherapist in their office. So whatever your style is, if you don't mind doing it online or the phone, you can contact me or anybody else. And there's also people that you can find who, if you want to do it in their office, you can do it that way as well. Typically, to make a full life change, as in a lifestyle change, I would recommend 4 to 6 weekly sessions, actually leading more to the 6 sessions. I think it's just good to transition you completely over into that new lifestyle. I would recommend daily self-hypnosis in order to stay in the desired frame of mind where you want to be. And there's a lot of stuff out there on self-hypnosis. I personally provide my clients with a 1-page sheet of simple instruction to do right before bed. It's very basic, it's very easy. But self-hypnosis can be done so easily just on your own. And it's kind of funny because self-hypnosis is actually why I ended up getting into this field ultimately. That's another story for another day. The daily self-hypnosis is really good because it's just kind of calming down everything in your body, your heart rate, your mind, your nervous system, everything. And it keeps you thinking about where you want to be and loving your body and all of those good things. I would recommend daily meditation and visualization on achieving the optimal weight, size, and health. And it's so easy to meditate on that, literally. Some deep breaths in, stress out on the exhale, and then just see yourself as you want yourself to be in your mind's eye, that optimal weight, size, health, and condition that you choose to be. And every day I would recommend meditating on that. Another thing that I actually do with all my clients is I have them do mirror work and other methods of learning to love oneself. And I touched on that a little bit earlier and why that's important. And mirror work is created by the famous Louise Hay, who I just adore and love all of her stuff. She's just incredible, and her organization, Hay House, is amazing. But she has talked a lot and taught a lot about mirror work. And mirror work is simply gazing into the mirror, maybe in the morning when you get up, and looking into your own eyes and just saying, I love you, Loya. I love you. And it isn't a matter of just saying it. It's a matter of looking into your eyes and really seeing it, feeling it in your being. Do you know that's so hard for just about everybody to do who I have do it? Over time and over sessions, they get used to it. But mirror work is difficult for people because, you know, when we were little kids, 3 or 4, we'd look in the mirror and we'd laugh. 5 or 6, we'd make faces and get a kick out of ourselves. And then somewhere along the way, when we started off in school and realized, you know, people are different, maybe we aren't as pretty as we would want to be, people stop liking to look in the mirror at themselves. When they look in the mirror, it's a way to fault themselves, their face, their body. So mirror work is so important. I have clients do that every single day between sessions. And the last thing that I'm going to recommend is getting out in nature daily. It is so good for our minds and our bodies and our spirit to be out connecting with nature daily. If it's putting your feet on some grass or even some rocks, or just being amongst the trees and touching the leaves or smelling the flowers, it's so good for our well-being and for us to just feel good in our skin. So those are the things that I would recommend. I talked about this on the last webinar, and I want to share it again because it's really powerful, about how quickly and efficiently does hypnotherapy work in changing the subconscious and empowering our minds, bodies, and spirits so that we may live the lifestyle that we desire permanently. And so American Health Magazine reported on a study that they performed a few years back in which they compared psychoanalysis, behavior therapy, and hypnotherapy. And the amazing findings are as follows. So with psychoanalysis, if you don't know what that is, we're thinking, you know, Freud, you're sitting on a sofa, you're talking to somebody who's listening, and they're analyzing everything about you, the things you talk about, the dreams you have, all of those kinds of things. In behavior therapy is when you're sometimes, you talk about the behavior that you have and how you want to change it. And so you're addressing those specific behaviors, you're changing your behavior, you're focused on behavior. And because hypnotherapy is putting people into a trance, putting their conscious mind in trance, and allowing the hypnotherapist to work with the subconscious during those sessions. So in psychoanalysis, 38% recovery after 600 sessions. And when you think about 600 sessions, I mean, literally, there's 52 weeks in a year. So that's that's just about 5 years, honestly, of weekly sessions. And if you think about the cost and your time, and you're only getting a 38% recovery rate, that is just crazy. Behavior therapy, 72% recovery after 22 sessions. So you're looking at like what, 4 months of weekly sessions? Again, that's just crazy. And with hypnotherapy, they found that 93% recovery after only 6 weekly sessions. So that tells you how quickly it changes everything about you and the things that you want to improve or eliminate. One thing that I'd like to add is that I have a client, I think we've did about 12 sessions now, and we just have ongoing weekly sessions because she said that in the first probably 1 or 2 sessions, she changed more than in 20 years of going to talk counseling. 20 years. And she could not believe it. She said she was so mind blown that she just sticks with hypnotherapy like crazy. She said it's amazing. She's changing everything from the inside out. She's changing her entire life. It's just phenomenal. Alrighty, so that brings me to the end here, and it actually, if you would choose to contact me or you want to get that free MP3 or you want to take the questionnaire on your eating triggers, just pop over to www.loyariggan.com. There'll be a pop-up right away that asks you if you would like to get the free MP3. You can download it there. There's also a resources section. I have a gallery of looking at beautiful sceneries to drop that blood pressure. There's just a ton over there you can find, and I hope you enjoy it if you visit it. You can also email me at loyashypnosis@gmail.com with any questions you might have, or you're always welcome to call me at 702-802-1291. And if I don't answer, please leave a message. I always get back to everybody, and I don't make you wait forever on that either. So Gus, we finished a little bit early at 7:35, and that's about where I timed out. And what I'd like to do now for everybody is I'd like to do a 15-minute hypnosis session that is purely on relaxation. So it's total relaxation. So
okay, I like the sound of that.
Okay,
Before we
great.
do that, just in terms of time,
Mhm.
does anyone have any questions that you'd like to ask
Yes.
Loya before we start, if that's okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Well, let me start if you guys want to think of anything to ask Loya. I thank you for the presentation. I think you made a good case in showing that you tied our relationship with food has to do with the relationship with how we feel about ourselves, and that's not very obvious. It wasn't to myself or to I think a lot of people that got to listen to this. Like I've noticed as I've matured, my relationship with food has changed. I've gone from where I need food to survive, just like air, right?
Right.
Where I move to, hey, I need food for energy, but I don't always need food,
Mm-hmm.
to now I have food serving me. where I eat it for nutrition, for medicinal purposes. So it's my relationship with food has changed, but I never made the connection where it's also has to do with relationship with how I feel about myself. And I think you
Mhm.
made a case for that, how it has to do with the love that we have for ourselves.
For sure.
Is so my question is this, is how do that relationship, because I was, I'm focusing more on the relationship with food as the relationship with myself. How do we help the client along that journey, that discovery of how they can use food to better serve their needs and their goals?
Well, a lot of times when I have clients for weight management, they don't love themselves, they don't love their body, they eat whatever they want. They're usually really overweight, which again makes them despise their self, their body even more. And once we start focusing on food, the one thing that I do is, and loving themselves, is I start trying to educate them and change their mindset on the fact that food is fuel. It's a form of caring for yourself. It is a form of getting you where you want to be. And when you love yourself, you're going to put good things into your body. You don't need to eat that whole Hershey's bar to feel better. And then I like to dig down deep and to help them recognize why they're eating. What is the reason that's behind that? Where did you have a critical mom who never thought you looked good enough, or were good enough in academics, blah, 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 whatever the reason is. I try to, and I don't try, I do. I help them locate the core reasons why they choose to basically almost self-medicate with food, because that's what they're doing. They're self-medicating with food instead of giving themselves the love and care that they may have wanted all along. They don't know how to take care of themselves. So I just try to make that correlation for them so that they can understand why they're doing what they're doing and how they can change that.
Well, I'm a fan. Anything as effective as hypnotherapy. I think you made a good case with that last slide between the psychoanalysis and the behavior therapy, how much more impactful hypnotherapy is. And I think that's an important, that effectiveness is important, especially for people who are looking to make change as quickly as possible,
Oh,
right?
I agree.
From 20 years to, just a few
Mhm.
weeks time for impact and change. That's
Very
impressive.
powerful.
And that's
Mhm.
what people I think are looking for. So that's very good to know.
Agreed.
I kind of got blown away by the virtual bypass surgery. That's the
Hmm.
first I heard about that.
Oh, it's wonderful. And I belong to a lot of hypnosis communities. And some of the things that they do to give such a realistic experience, like I said, the alcohol wipes, the medical, kind of like almost like the medical tools, the clinking. It's amazing. It is amazing the way that our subconscious mind works.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard of that, and I believe it. I'm impressed. So, does anyone have any questions for Loya before we start our before I start a relaxation session?
Yeah, just real quick. So what are then some of the reasons when people eat when they're like happy versus when they're not, they can't eat? I mean, I'm probably more, if I'm happy and things are going well, then I feel like I want to eat. But if I'm not doing well, I don't eat. I can't eat. So it's kind of like the total opposite.
Yeah, you're the opposite. In the past, I would eat when I felt very stressed, when I was feeling down and despondent. I would, that was basically like my feel good food, my comfort, but that only lasts till you get done eating it. And then you're like, oh my God, why did I eat that? And then you're all down on yourself. So it's funny because the person who told me they were so surprised, they found out they ate for celebrations, for holidays, for fun get-togethers. I mean, that's what the food was all about for that person, and it really surprised them because they thought they were emotionally eating through the years, but they weren't at all. It was all about the good times and the food that goes with the good times. So that was very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other
more
questions? Okay. Loya, the
Okay.
floor is yours. Now, can you leave me like 5 minutes towards the end so I can wrap up the webinar series?
Yes,
All right, thank you.
certainly. It's about 7:42 now, so definitely I'll leave you enough time.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. So there's a few things that I have to say here, my hypnosis tips before we start on this total relaxation. And they're pretty basic. Ooh, there went my material. It's pretty logical stuff, but I do have to say it not because we're in session here, but in case anybody is listening to this down the road on a replay. And these are my hypnosis tips. So just sit back and relax and know that I will do all the work for you all today. There's nothing you need to do. Your only job is going to be to relax and to listen to my voice. I also have to advise that any future listeners not listen when they are driving or operating any type of machinery. And I mean, that obviously makes sense, but not everybody knows that, so I have to put that out there. So now all you need to do is just go ahead and sit back and shut your eyes and get ready to relax deeply as you focus on my voice. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in, and as you let it out, just go ahead and close your eyes, keep them closed, let your eyelids relax. Just give yourself permission to let yourself to begin to relax very deeply. And go ahead and take another deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale out your mouth, I'd like you just to relax further. Imagine feeling heavy, loose, and limp. Just letting your shoulders drop. And as you relax, just let your attention remain on the sound of my voice as if that is all you cared about. So one last deep breath in, hold it at the top to the count of 3. And as you exhale, I'd like you to let any tension, stress, worry in your body, just let it leave. Let it go on the exhale. And just listen to the sound of my voice in an easygoing kind of way. As you sit there, relaxing deeply. Just know if there was anything else that needed your attention right now, I would let you know. So for now, you can just relax. Just let those shoulders drop. Maybe even let your chin drop down towards your chest. It's okay. And I want you to know that no other sound but the sound of my voice is important while we are working together right now. And I would like you to take your attention to your feet. Just take your attention to your toes. And I would like you to really let your toes begin to relax. And as you let your toes relax, just imagine that a warm feeling is coming into them and that they are beginning to maybe glow slightly as they relax warmly. And now I want you to let that warm, glowing, relaxing feeling slowly move up from your toes of both feet all the way into your whole foot. And those wonderful feet that carry you everywhere you need to go, I want you to feel a moment of gratitude towards those feet that take care of you every day. And it feels so good to just let them relax. And I want you to imagine that as they relax, that they are feeling warm and begin to glow in a very comfortable and healthy way. And if you don't see it, it's okay. Just try to feel it. So if you don't feel that warmth right now, that is perfectly all right. You may feel it later as you become more deeply relaxed. And now, very slowly, let that warm, glowing feeling of relaxation move up into your calves, dissolving any feeling except soft, warm relaxation. All of the muscles in your calves and all the way up to your knees go loose, limp, and relaxed. It feels so nice to just relax with me for a while. Just enjoying that feeling of relaxation, going from your toes up to your knees. And now, very slowly, let that feeling of relaxation move up from your knees, along the front of your thighs, letting all of the large and the small muscles of your thighs just to begin to relax deeply, very deeply. And imagine that warm, glowing sensation moving up your thighs, and now moving to the back of your thighs, feeling so comfortable, so relaxed, so heavy, loose, and limp. Yet you feel so safe and so secure right now. And as you continue to relax deeply, you sink down in a comfortable feeling of warmth and relaxation. And you are feeling safe and comfortable. You are only listening to the sound of my voice, and it is as if all you care about is how deeply relaxed you can go right now. Now your legs are relaxing so deeply and wonderfully that you are ready to allow that feeling to move up to your waist. Let that wonderful relaxation slowly move upward through your body to your waist, so that your whole body is feeling deeply relaxed from your waist down to the very tips of your toes. And that warm feeling of relaxation glows with a very healthy feeling of relaxation. Just letting all those muscles go completely. Just heavy, loose, and limp. So relaxed and feeling so good. And as you continue to relax deeply, you sink down in a comfortable feeling of warmth and relaxation. And you are feeling safe and comfortable. And you are only listening to the sound of my voice. And it is as if all you care about is how deeply relaxed you can go right now. And you are feeling so heavy, limp, loose, and relaxed, and you're really enjoying this ongoing feeling of deep relaxation. So you now allow it to move into your back. First, slowly moving into your lower back, feeling so comfortable and relaxed. All muscles there are feeling a glowing warmth as they just loosen and gently expand, feeling so comfortable and relaxed. And now you let that glowing feeling of relaxation move up through the center of your back, relaxing it as it moves upward and expands across your entire back, so slowly and comfortably. And it feels so good to just allow all of this relaxation to move upward through your whole back. And just let this feeling of relaxation continue to deepen across your entire back. And it feels so good to let your back and your body relax. Now very slowly, just let this very comfortable feeling of relaxation move up into your shoulders. And just let your shoulders go completely relaxed with this warm, glowing feeling. Just dropping down even more, allowing them to sag and relax. And it feels so good to just relax as you focus on the sound of my voice. Just letting that feeling of deepening relaxation move down from your shoulders and into your chest. As this feeling of relaxation moves into your chest, you breathe very easily, comfortably, and naturally. And each natural breath that you exhale takes you deeper and deeper relaxed. And you are beginning to feel so deeply relaxed. And you're feeling so good as you sink down into the comfortable feeling of warmth and relaxation. You are feeling safe and comfortable as you listen to my voice, feeling heavy, loose, and limp. And as you enjoy this feeling of relaxation, it moves down to your abdomen. And that whole feeling of relaxation continues to grow from your chest all the way down to the tips of your toes. And you are enjoying the feeling of that warmth and relaxation circulating through your body. And perhaps it has a color as it circulates through all of you. And it moves down from the upper body, slowly moving down into your upper arms, your biceps, your elbows, just letting all those large and small muscles go completely loose and limp. It moves down into your lower arms and your wrist, and all tension is just melting away as this wonderful relaxation moves all the way down to the very tips of your fingers. And you are feeling so good, feeling the warmth, the comfort, the relaxation as you focus on my voice. And this warm feeling of relaxation has a glow and a color to it. And you feel so good. And all of this relaxation continues to deepen during this entire session. And your body is feeling so good right now, so very good, that you let the feeling of relaxation slowly move up into the back of your neck. All of the muscles begin to relax deeply, perhaps more deeply than they have ever relaxed before. Deeply relaxing right now from the base of your neck up to the top of your neck, feeling so wonderfully relaxed. Just allowing that feeling of relaxation to move from the back of your neck, all around your neck, from the back to the front. And that relaxation may make you want to swallow. And if that happens, it's okay. Because you will go more deeper relaxed, feeling so safe and secure. And now allow that feeling to move right up into your jaw. If it was tense, just let it relax now, heavy with relaxation, but very comfortable. And as your jaw relaxes, your whole body continues to relax more and more. And as you continue to relax deeply, you sink down in a comfortable feeling of warmth and relaxation, just as you're sinking into your chair. And you are feeling safe and comfortable, only focused on my voice. And now as the relaxation continues to deepen, just let that feeling of warm, glowing relaxation move up the back of your head and around the sides of your head up into your temples. And it feels so good to take a few minutes to relax in this way, in this special time for you. And now let that wonderful glowing relaxation move over the top of your head and into your forehead and your eyebrows. Just let it all go smooth and relaxed, heavy, loose, and limp. And your forehead goes very deeply relaxed and smooth, and that feeling slowly moves down across your face, all the way down across your entire face. And your face becomes so relaxed that you can almost feel the weight of the muscles as they relax under your skin. And now your whole body is relaxed from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And everything just seems to make you relax even more. And as you continue to relax deeply, you sink down in a comfortable feeling of warmth and relaxation. You are feeling safe and comfortable. You are only listening to the sound of my voice. And it is as if all you care about is how deeply relaxed you can go right now. Just feeling that very relaxing glow and that very healthy feeling of relaxation, just allowing your muscles to go completely relaxed, heavy, loose, and limp. And I just want you to let you know that you're doing great. And it feels so wonderful to feel the way that you feel right now. And I want you to know that after we've spent this time feeling so good, that it's now time to return to the present time. And in a moment, I will count you awake from 1 to 3. And when I get to 3, you will be wide awake and feeling really rejuvenated, recharged, and feeling good mentally, physically, and emotionally. So 1, just taking a deep breath in now, wiggling your toes and fingers, feeling so good. And 2, fluttering your eyes and stretching, feeling energized, alive, and wonderful. And 3, opening your eyes fully now, wide awake. Just go ahead and stretch your whole body, wiggle your fingers and toes, just coming back into your body, feeling recharged, rejuvenated, feeling so good, and wide awake now, feeling refreshed and wonderful. Great job, everybody. How do y'all feel?
I'm appreciative of the 10 minutes of escape from all the madness of the world. So thank you.
You're very welcome. It's my
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah, it felt great. Really did.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm so glad.
You put my dog in a trance too.
Wonderful. That Yankee Rose could probably use a good rest and
Like,
relaxation.
oh, she was like this on her.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Loya put the dog to sleep.
Yeah, she
Wonderful.
That's power.
Dog whisperer, me and Caesar.
So everyone, Loya Riggan, thank you for this awesome webinar. And
welcome.
make sure to visit her website, www.loyariggan.com, for some valuable resources. You will get the emotional eating triggers, where you can easily assess what are the reasons for your eating. Why do you eat? What are your motivations? What are your triggers? Along with a 15-minute hypnotherapy session, right, for relaxation, just like we did right now. So please take advantage of that. Thank you, Loya.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So next week, we have Holly McKennahan going to be doing a presentation on allergies. Her previous webinar was debugging and upgrading the human software. This next week is going to be about allergies. And Holly is a certified tribal healer and is president of the Harmony Health in Las Vegas, Nevada. Holly is a master of assessment. She finds energy disturbances, their sources, and interventions required for resolution. She uses the knowledge of the connection between your energy and your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual state of being, and moves you into a state of harmony and wellness. She's using her 40 years experience as a experience in the healing field and as a nurse. She's very experienced, and she is a bioresonance and trauma resolution practitioner. So make sure to connect with us next week when Holly is doing the presentation. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining.